My girlfriend broke up with me because she found out she couldn't have kids, so I tried to fix the relationship, but she sent me a photo of her with another man. Later, she called me crying. We've been together for 8 years, since 18 years old, and we've been truly happy for those 8 years. I know that for a fact. She always left me little notes telling me how happy I make her, and she made me incredibly happy too. We were going to get married by the end of this year or early next year at the latest. We've always talked about getting married when we were 27 to 28, and that time had come since we were both 26 about to turn 27 this year. We were each other's first everything, apart from some not so serious, childish and short high school dating with other people before we met, and she was my everything. We were planning on having kids a couple of years after getting married, but a trip to the doctor and that whole plan changed. She had a long and painful period, took 10 to 14 days to pass, so by day 10 I convinced her to go to a doctor to find out what was wrong. We basically found out that she's nearly infertile because she has early menopause and her AMH levels were seriously low. AMH is the hormone that basically shows how much eggs you have left. Healthy levels around our age should be between 1.5 to 5 and hers were at 0.19, so yeah. This broke her. No matter what I did or said I couldn't console her, and she spent the next month before we broke up crying daily about this for hours. Constantly telling me that she knew how much I wanted to be a father, that she knew how good a father I'd make and that I deserve to have kids, but she can't give them to me now, and asking what good is she to me now as if I only was with her for that. It's true that for the past 8 years, yes, I knew I wanted to have a family with her pretty early on in our relationship. I've been dreaming about having kids with her, but the only reason I had those dreams in the first place was because of her. I tried to explain to her tens of times that just because her hormone levels are low doesn't mean we can't have kids, and even if we couldn't in the end, all I wanted was to be with her anyways, so I'd be okay with it. She didn't believe me. Constantly accused me of not thinking this through, not being serious about what this would mean for me, and told me even if I believed this now I'd resent her later on in life, and she didn't want to do this to me. That's not like me at all, but she convinced herself of it. We went to another doctor we went to before, for another unrelated issue we had early on in our relationship, who's well known for a second opinion. He basically confirmed that if we wanted kids we should start trying as soon as possible. Problem is, our country is basically economically broke, so even with both of our incomes combined getting a house would be difficult, which is why we were planning on getting married at the end of the year after saving up a bit in the first place. I was also freshly out of a job too, so there was that too. After we got out of the doctor's office she told me she wanted to break up with me. She had a little argument with my mom just before this second appointment. They're super close, but that leads to her trying to meddle in our affairs sometimes. This time it was about a vacation we were going to have. She insisted on paying for us, which annoyed my girlfriend because we had the means to pay for ourselves. My mom also didn't know about what she's going through, so she pressed about paying, which made her extra mad that she had to deal with her while going through this, so that piled on top of what was already going on with the whole early menopause situation. She said she was setting me free, so to speak, because she won't be able to give me the children I deserve, and didn't want to talk to my mom, and asked me not to tell her the reason of our breakup. We cried a bit. I tried to convince her that we could get through this, that I didn't want to be set free, that playing the hero and making a self-sacrifice play like this was stupid, but I couldn't convince her. Just before we went our separate ways she hugged me and said she was sorry and this was a mistake, and asked me if we could just take a break for a week instead of breaking up. I said okay. That was the first breakup. A week passed. We met again. Same conversation happened. She cries about the same things about kids and breaks up with me again. I drop her off at her home and go get drunk with my dad. Next day she calls me, tells me she couldn't sleep and she cried all night and asked me to meet with her to talk. I go over. She basically says again that this was a mistake and she's sorry about the breakup and asks us to go to couples therapy to try to fix this, and that she also started going to a psychologist to deal with having early menopause. I'm happy to do this. I suggested this before as well when we had some other problems, so I'm all for it. She goes to visit her grandma for a couple of days because she had a cerebral hemorrhage last year and she didn't have a chance to visit her since then, so she wants to go see her just in case. We have a national holiday at this time, so now's the perfect time to go visit. So she goes. I look for therapists while she's gone and we plan to start sessions when she's back. She gets sick there. Apparently her aunt was there as well and made everybody sick. She comes back but is too sick to get out of home, so between her getting back and being sick, a week passes since we talked about starting therapy. Monday comes. She's going to go back to work, but she also has an appointment with our doctor before that. He told her to come the next time she has her period. I can't make it there because it's too early and I'm starting my training period for a company, so she says she'll update me as soon as she leaves his office. She doesn't do that though. Doesn't talk to me at all for the whole day until she gets off work. Calls me and straight up just says she wants to break up again. I'm like, what the heck, this isn't a game enough already? We said we'd go to couples therapy, why are you doing this again? She doesn't really answer, just says that's what she wants and is adamant about it, so we break up on the phone because apparently she's not strong enough to do it face to face. Her words, not mine. I give it a couple of weeks for us both to settle down, and this time I'm the one who reached out. I text her that I happen to be close by to where she works and ask her to meet up after work. She reads and doesn't reply for 15 minutes and then texts me, I'm with someone else now, screw off and leave me alone already. As if it wasn't her who constantly reached out to me to beg to not break up, and as if I was stalking her or something. I of course don't believe this and tell her that she didn't need to say something so messed up, and if she told me she didn't want to talk to me like an adult I'd have left her alone and never reach out to her again. She then sends me a picture of a guy kissing her on the cheek with her smiling an hour later.